Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
How shameless Albanian gangsters are recruiting cops in Sinister new plan to run drug dens operating on your street. They rule Britain's £5 billion a year cocaine trade with an iron fist and brazenly show off their ill-gotten gains. Now Albanian gangsters have become so blatant, they are even recruiting corrupt former cops from their home country into their criminal networks. A Sun investigation can reveal. Albanians have taken control of Britain's coke market over the past 2 decades, after forming an alliance with deadly Latin American drug cartels. And ex-officers from Albania, which has a massive issue with police corruption, have been caught dealing drugs and guarding cannabis farms in the UK. Experts say the former law enforcers are gold to UK-based mobsters because of their inside knowledge of how police work to snare big-time drug dealers. Evren Karamuko, professor of criminology at Tirana State University in Albania, told The Sun how the ex-cops act as advisors to gangs. He said, "There are cases where former police officers have been dismissed from their jobs due to abusive behavior, corruption, or ties to criminal groups. They have exploited their connections to the criminal underworld to find new opportunities, becoming key members of gangs. Some groups believe that their knowledge of police tactics will help them evade detection by the British police. We understand from certain wiretaps by Albanian law enforcement agencies that they become the most important instructors and advisors to criminals." Last December, ex-Albanian cop Igli Ajazi was caught with members of a major organized crime gang while on a visa to study criminology at London's Roehampton University. Ajazi, who worked as a cop in North Albania from 2019 to 2022, told arresting officers he was on a career break. He was caught when police in Swansea swooped on a car linked to a London-based Albanian drugs clan. The 28-year-old's phone revealed messages relating to a large-scale cannabis growing operation in the capital, as well as perverted videos of child abuse and depravity, which he claimed were connected to his previous job. Ajazi was given a 20-month sentence, suspended for 2 years, placed on a rehabilitation course, and given 180 hours of community service. Football-loving ex-cop Admir Hidri, 25, paid a heavy price for getting mixed up with gangsters after jumping out the window of a cannabis house and breaking his back. Hidri, of Failsworth, GTR Manchester, claimed to the City Crown Court that he was dragged into crime after borrowing cash from a local underworld figure to fund treatment for his sick mother in Albania. He said he was forced to work off his debt by traveling to Britain to guard a house in Failsworth, where cannabis plants with a street value of £70,000 were discovered. Hidri was jailed for 2 years and 6 months despite claiming to be in fear of his life, and breaking 2 vertebrae by jumping out a window when police raided the property. Another one-time Balkan cop tried to stay in Britain after serving 3 years for intent to supply cocaine. Klisman Sikaj appealed against his deportation to Albania in 2022 after sneaking into the UK 11 years earlier, being sent home, then re-entering in 2018. He was caught red-handed after UK police raided his flat in Nottingham in 2015 and found cocaine hidden in a cooker. Sikaj claimed he worked for Interpol before finally admitting the truth. After being deported following jail, the 34-year-old worked as a cop in Albania, where his job ironically involved transporting prisoners. He came back to Britain and was caught with fake Italian ID papers. Police in Albania aren't paid much and are ripe for manipulation. He appealed to stay, claiming mobsters were chasing him, but his application was denied. In April last year, Igli Duka, 24, was jailed for 2 years for growing hundreds of cannabis plants in an industrial unit in West Lothian. He claimed a notorious gangster he had previously arrested in his home country had blackmailed him into being a gardener at the site. A 5th policeman worked undercover infiltrating the Albanian mafia, but claims to have been sucked into drug dealing when his cover was blown. Mauricio Malej, 30, was given a 2-year prison sentence, suspended for 2 years after being caught selling coke to London crime bosses. In 2021, his lawyer claimed he left his home country for the UK after Albanian henchmen torched his dad's car. Now Albanian drug gangs have become synonymous with garish music videos on social media, where they pose with jewelry, cash, and flash cars. The most infamous is the Albanians, based on the Gascoigne estate in Barking, East London. They are cashing in on the demand for coke with around 2.5 million UK users, making us the worst country in Europe for cocaine usage and second in the world behind America. Albania's police force has faced massive issues with corruption, with even senior cops arrested. Oltian Bistri, the head of an elite team of officers, was arrested 2 years ago for corruption, and money laundering, and prosecutors have seized £4 million of his family's assets. Another officer, Dedin G. Joni, has been charged with drug trafficking for Latin American gangs. There is hope of a crackdown, with one Albanian insider telling The Sun. A new unit of special prosecutors has been established to root out rotten cops using EncroChat phone encryption. However, it may be a hard task, as the insider continued. Ex-cops are like gold to crime gangs. Their knowledge of how to evade detection is priceless. Police in Albania aren't paid much and are ripe for manipulation. The basic wage is about £850 a month, and it's difficult for them to rise up the ranks and get higher pay. There's corruption at every level and has been for many years.